It's day 9 of designing a Pokopia cloud island in 30 days. Yesterday we built this museum. It's nice, it's empty. We'll be filling it up as time goes on. Today, we're gonna start another building project. We have a whole city to build, so I kind of just need to keep grinding away at getting stuff in these plots. So I've been looking at a lot of different pictures of modern office buildings and things like that, because I'm trying to make something a little more exciting than what I have so far, mostly just to challenge myself. I think what I have is nice, but I want to push myself a little bit harder. So today, I think I have a few different bits of ideas that I'm gonna combine into a Franken building that's gonna be in one of these plots. Maybe, I don't know. It might need one of the larger plots here. And so this is the one I'm considering occupying. After yesterday's video, I did manage to play a little bit more, and I had some time to kind of float around and look for buried objects. So I finally got my first mysterious slate, and I got some fossils as well, and just some other, bits and bobs here and there. And just a second ago, I bought these 2 batches of seeds. I always buy the seeds now whenever I see them, because you never know when you're gonna need them. They really hold out on you for different plant life. You either have to steal it from other islands, or you just have to wait for the seeds to be in stock. So I went ahead and just decided a while back, from now on, I'm just buying them as I see them. And because there's so much to do, we are jumping straight into designing. I did manage to get a little more honey yesterday, so I could finally start summoning Pokemon over here that are missing. That was brutal for a little bit. And we're going to start dyeing some stuff. I have a pretty solid idea in mind as to what I'm going to try and do. I'm going for a modern office building look. And for this one, we're going to be taking advantage of the beams and also the concrete blocks, as well as a lot of glass. So much glass that I'm not taking any chances, and I'm going to get some smelting before we get started. As for placement of this new building, I am going back and forth a little bit. This area here, I'm kind of actually tempted to put a park, which I know would be... I know this is a good spot for one. We have the museum, we have some buildings around it. It's just very central to the entire city, and it just feels like this should actually be a park, not a giant office building. This plot feels a little bit too small for my ambitions, and this plot is probably the same size, but looks larger. Maybe because of the grass. I should really count it out. Okay, so this one here is actually 12 by 16. I think this one's going to be the same. But since I already have, a decently sized building here, maybe putting it over here is probably not the worst play. So we're going to build our building right over here. And this is actually kind of perfect having it rectangular, because the building I have in mind is also going to be a bit rectangular. Starting with the ground floor of our new office building, I'm going to be going with a concrete frame. Just down here, I'm trying to right now space out how far apart I want each of these pillars to be. And the building itself is going to be kind of I probably housed within these concrete pillars, or I'm going to use them as the corners of the walls and stuff. I haven't really decided. If I had more room, I would actually like to have multiple layers to these walls, where it's concrete on the outside, and then we use another block on the interior where we put the actual windows. But this is not a giant plot, so I might have to, make a few sacrifices, which is fine. Again, we're just kind of trying to push ourselves right now and do something a little bit different. And now to find a way to incorporate these iron beams. I really love this item. The last time I used this on my single player world, I put them on the outside, but I wanted them to be used as kind of like a structural foundational piece. And on the outside of the building, it didn't make a ton of sense. So this time I'm going to try using them on the inside of the building. And I think that'll kind of make it look pretty interesting aesthetically inside the building. And also it'll give me a reason to have these kind of used as a way to support the next floor above this floor. If you've never used these before, they're pretty cool. So right now I'm starting with these little beam looking things. And then if you put another one like that as a T shape, it makes them into this 4-sided little, I want to say block, I guess block. And that's just how those work. So you can actually just change their shape like this. And that's because these are going to be the bottom of my beams. I think this makes them look a little more visually appealing. And I suppose my idea here was to have these just kind of go across the top of the first floor here. Put them down like this and then run across like this. All right, so yeah, kind of like that. Kind of feels like I'm building a car wash right now. And then I guess it makes sense to have them connect at the top too. Again, we want like a lot of structural integrity for, I guess, all the floors we're building on top of this. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big glass building that's sure to fall down the next time some wind kicks up. Okay, so that's looking kind of interesting, I would say. Decent little lobby. If I walk in here, do I feel like it's high enough? And I guess it is. I think if I were to put another layer of blocks above the concrete, but something different, something to start to transition it from being this really industrial to like more modern office building-y, I think the ceiling will feel a little bit taller in here when you walk in, and it'll probably feel pretty good. I'm thinking we'll leave it at this height. Now, a lot of the modern office buildings that I look at actually have some interesting design choices whereby the next level will actually come out in a block farther than the concrete structure holding it up. You would think that I'd probably start to put the rest of the structure starting here with the walls on top of these beams, but actually I'm going to come out an entirely new block for the next story. And for that block, I've prepared some iron plating. That's going to be the majority of the walls now going forward. And I'm just going to make a big, I don't know, I want to say ring. I'm going to make a shape, a rectangle around our rectangle. And one of the other hallmarks of these buildings seems to be having corners, but only on some of the corners. Kind of like this. So we would have glass going all the way around, and there would only be 3 corners on the building. And then I think for the sides that have corners around them, just that side and this side, I think it would be good to maybe close them off a bit more. This will add, I think, a little bit more visual intrigue to the project. And also it'll give me some walls to put stuff on, which is probably good if you're working in an office environment, you know, having space to actually like put stuff on the walls, bulletins, things like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. Okay, now for the next floor. Imagine, if you will, our concrete structure going through this building the entire time, right? Giving a bit more purpose to the bottom layer being the way it is. So this bit of concrete is actually what's holding up the entire building, plus of course the beams on the bottom holding all those floors up in the air like the champions they are. For the next floor of this building, I'm fighting with myself a little bit on like whether or not I should make it exactly the same and call it there and just let it be 3 stories high, or if I should try and add a little more, you know, modern office building visual intrigue. For example, if I take our concrete structure that we have and make it go in like that, and then pop a block right here, suddenly this particular corner is going to be like indented more than this one. And this is, again, something I've seen in a lot of these office buildings where some of the windows are kind of sunken in on the top floor just to give that extra bit of flair to the boss's office. And yes, the boss gets the entire floor to themselves, of course. So then the way this would go is that these would go all the way around, just like on the last floor. Of course, before you can do that, you need more blocks, and before you can get more blocks, you have to run out of paint. I don't think I have enough to finish what I was trying to do, but I'm gonna try. I really thought I prepared enough paint for this one. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna come basically all the way around. I'm actually thinking of making these windows a little bit wider anyway, because they're giving parking garage vibes. And I mean, I know the difference between office building and parking garage is kind of negligible, but I would like it to feel like an office building. Okay, if I was smart, I would have some more paint being made right now, but I've cleared up the parking garage windows. I think that looks fine. I'm gonna need more no matter what I do, so let me go and find somebody who can make me some paint. I'll see if I can get maybe some more black paint. All right, I have 3 different Pokemon working with 3 different types of berries, so all of them can give black paint. So we'll see how that goes. And for now, I'll just kind of finish with the blocks I have. The idea being that I'm going to also put blocks on, yes, this layer right here, and we'll go across like this. And of course I run out right there, but I think that gives me, yes, exactly what I was looking for, that little visual bit where the windows are sunken in more on the top floor. While we're waiting on paint though, we can start making choices about the different actual like floors we're gonna do. And I'm talking about the blocks I'm gonna put on the ground that you walk on. Like, what kind of flooring do we want throughout this building? I'm thinking for the 2 top floors, we'll have woven carpet. So I'll just make like, I don't know, like 200 of the, oh gosh, that's like all my twine. Okay. Let's do like 100 of these for now. And for the ground floor, I actually want to try the dark marble flooring, but maybe like dyed in an interesting color. But instead of interesting, I dyed them white. But I think I kind of like the way that looks. So we're going to go with this across the entire ground floor. And yeah, definitely don't regret it at all. It doesn't look like a big chessboard. And I have no problems with this. Oh no, I'm out of the flooring. Oh crap. Oh, what will I do? I only made so much. Ah, shoot. I guess I'm gonna have to use this stone tiling. Ah, that's a shame. I only have so much marble and so much white paint. I think that maybe just temporarily we use these blocks for the floor. It's gonna be fine. There'll be a good placeholder block until we can get more marble tiling and white paint to finish this this other floor that we actually wanted to build all along. Ah, shucks. It just looks so regular, doesn't it? Oh well. Now, I still haven't replenished my gravel supply yet, but I do have a little bit. So I'm going to surround this building in gravel again, just to have it be finished. If we're going to be working on this plot, then I would like to have the building basically done. If I do make it to a dream island today, I need one with gravel. All right, so either side of the building, not all four sides, but two of the sides have a little strip of grass here. So this is going to be good for maybe some flower beds and stuff. And I think we're ready to move on to glass. Again, we're just kind of waiting for paint at the moment. So I'm going to start putting in the windows. Now, this is where this building should start to look, hopefully, a lot more like an office building. That's the idea. So let me see if I can just, oh, I thought I could make these a 3x3, but I guess I can't. So I guess I'll just kind of like go panel by panel here. And we're just going to fill in all the gaps with glass. And what's extra cool about the way this game does doors is that if I put a door here and get it powered, of course, which it's not yet, it's just going to kind of slide into these glass panels, and it doesn't look half bad. It's kind of cool that we can just do all glass walls with a glass door, and yeah, it just kind of works. So far, the bottom floor is definitely giving dealership showroom vibes. I'm not mad about it. It's just kind of funny. We're gonna put a door on this side as well, and I'm also gonna put a door on this side, I think. Yeah, we can fit one right here. And only the, I guess, what we'll call the back of the building doesn't have a door. Next up is our big window. I'm just gonna go across layer by layer. Let's see what glass does when it hits a corner. Does glass make a little corner block? I actually didn't even think about this. Uh-oh. No, it does not. Huh. Well, that kind of dampens my plans a little bit. Huh. I don't think that's the solution. Interestingly, I can fit these beams right here, and they kind of sit right next to the glass, and it almost closes the gap in a way that I find relatively acceptable. In fact, it's kind of interesting too that I dyed these iron blocks black, and I dyed this beam gray, and in the right light, they almost look the same. It'd probably be good for me to go in and like dye this beam black as well. It'll probably match a little bit closer. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be my answer to that little quandary. I'm a bit sad. I don't know why I thought the glass was going to just like meet perfectly on the corner like that. That's not how the blocks are designed. But we can make this work. I think it kind of changes the way I want to design this layer, and I'm going to take this concrete now, and I'm going to put it across here, and also across here. And the more I think about it, the more I guess I was always going to have to do this, because the idea was the windows were also going to be a step back from these windows. Okay, so yeah, I'll just put the glass on here, and then I'll have to do another iron beam corner like this. Or actually, you know where I'm messing up? It's this here, this indented corner. I actually just need to get rid of it. We'll put it in here like this, and then the glass is actually going to be down here on top of the concrete like that. So there we go. The concrete beam will be the corner for this window. And, you know, I think that keeps things uniform. Architecturally speaking, I think that makes more sense. I'm not an architect, but I just think it does. And I won't go any further now until I collect my black dye, which I believe I just got from Geodude. Yes, I did. Hopefully all three of them have this for me, so I won't need it for a while. In addition, I'm going to paint 3 of these iron beams black as well, because they're a little bulkier than the other ones, and if I make them into that little plus shape I showed you, maybe they'll even touch the windows. That would be awesome to kind of seal it off a little more. And then we'll just dye the rest of our iron plating black. Okay, let's try this first. So if I put this here and I take away this glass and then I put this here, then I get rid of it. Then we do it again. Put the glass back. It does work. I mean, realistically, yes, it does. It does touch the glass. It seals it keeps the air out, right? But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like it fits with our ultra modern building. So I do think that these beams, if we're going to use anything, are the ticket. And I gotta be honest, the black beam is standing out more than the gray beam did in a way that I don't think fits. I think I have to use the gray one. If the black on the iron blocks that we're using for the majority of the building was like darker, then we could do it. But because it's basically gray itself, that's what we have to do. All right, let's get these windows in. And honestly, it looks pretty good. It looks like I wanted it to look, right? I wanted it to look like one of those modern office buildings, and it kind of has that vibe. The only thing really holding it back, in my opinion, is the fact that the glass is just a bunch of squares, if that makes sense. Like if the glass panes were connected as one big giant glass pane, that would look a lot better. I suppose there's one thing I could test, and if it works, this is going to be very expensive, but I'm willing to try it. Oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how expensive this would be. If it looks good, I'm in trouble. The cost of paint for dyeing a block versus dyeing the tiny little border around a glass pane is ridiculous. It's just, it shouldn't be allowed. I don't know what they were thinking. I think it said like 2 paint per glass pane or something. So we have 6 of them just to try. And this is without doing the window part. This is just the border. But if I do this, oh, we have 3, not 6. So yeah, that's not good. If we put these 3 glass panes, we can't afford to do this. I'm sorry, everybody. That's not gonna work. I could see a world where the white would look better, just because it wouldn't be as visually busy. But you know what? That's not the world we live in, okay? In this economy, we can't afford windows with white trim on them. I'm sorry. All right, let's figure out the back, since now we have enough blocks to kind of finish it up like we want to. I'm going to do something like this, I think. I'm going to just kind of carry up these pillars here like this, and these are aligned with the concrete pillars on the bottom floor. And then instead of doing what I did before, I'm just going to do this across the entire bottom of both floors. So there'll still be some pretty big windows, but there's enough wall space to put desks and chairs and stuff, right? It'll still look like, an office building, I think. Yeah, I'd say that's a bit better than what I had before, which again, I just felt looked like a lot like a parking garage. Okay, well, I think that's the majority of the structure done. We got to plan for some kind of roof. I think it's just going to be iron blocks just across the top. Or I could use something else. I'm not really sure what else I would use. It just, given the way this building looks, just makes the most sense, I think, to take these and run across the top of the building. That means we're going to need a lot more. Now, there's no reason I can't put stuff on the roof if I want to put some power up there or something. But the cleaner look is probably for the best. And I think the further back I get, yeah, I think I like it. It's not the vision I had in mind. It's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. It's still kind of, like I said, what I wanted. All right, there's the roof. We have the ground floor in, we have the roof, we have the windows, we got the walls. So let's get inside here, and I guess I gotta power it still. Let's get inside here and plan the actual floors now. For this, it's pretty easy. I already grabbed a whole bunch of woven carpet, and at least for this first floor, that's what we're gonna put throughout. So bear with me. Of course, this wasn't quite enough to finish the floor. I shouldn't be too surprised. Good news though, I get some of these back because we also have to prepare for having elevators in here. And I say elevators plural because I'm thinking 2, like 1 on either side, would probably be the way to go. The only problem is they take up a lot of space, and this is, again, not the biggest building ever. I think our elevator shaft would start here, and I need a block because we got to put a ladder behind it. Oh, but also we got these beams here. I guess the question is, can you put a beam, or can you put a ladder on a beam? And I guess you can. In fact, Do you need the blocks behind the ladder? No, you don't. Okay, that's good. I didn't want these blocks, so we can just stack the ladder. I keep forgetting you can do that. That's great. I suppose what that means for our elevator is that it'll actually sit a couple blocks away from the wall, which, you know, having it not up against the windows is kind of nice, but what is anyone going to do with this little tiny space back here? Probably nothing, but it's okay. I'd rather have this than stairs, so this is fine. I suppose one finishing touch this needs is I have to put concrete around this here too, because you wouldn't make a concrete frame and then not connect all the different sides. So yeah, I kind of didn't do it for the top, but I figure the concrete is holding up the roof, so that's fine. I'm out of concrete. Honestly, I probably don't have enough carpet either, but let's just see where we get to. Yep, about there. I am basically out of twine. So that's not good. I have enough for 30 more blocks. So just in case you're counting, that's not enough blocks. We can go to a dream island, I guess. I don't want to. There's also some bits of twine around this island, so I should probably check. Let's also grab 20 more concrete walls and 3 elevators. And just so you can see how much space this takes up, it's that much. It blocks the door, which calls into question, like, do we even need a door there? Probably not. But if we don't have a door there, should I not just center the elevator on this wall? Which I can't. The elevator's actually 3 blocks wide, so never mind that. I think we have to make the tough decision to get rid of the beams, that are right behind the elevator and move it back one, because I just don't want it blocking the door. This is just too much in the lobby. I like the elevator as a concept, but it does take up a lot of space. Fortunately, just removing these 3 iron beams still doesn't make the build look bad or anything, so yeah, that's fine. We'll take this carpet out here, and the elevator will just be against this wall. Okay, now when we place it down, it is, yeah, I'd say a lot better. 2 of these would look kind of cool, but again, I would need a much larger building for me to want to pull that off. But having them like this more than works. I'm trying to decide now if I should connect all of the sides or all the concrete pillars on this floor too. Given that I am so low on carpet, yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I'll have to go make more concrete, but I have no shortage of that. Okay, in the end, did we end up with enough for the floors in our building, or do I need more twine right now? And it would appear that we have enough, just enough, with a little bit to spare. Perfect. All right, let's slap down another elevator here, and we're getting credit for just placing down these decorations today. And we'll plop another elevator right, if it'll let me, there. Perfect. I get some money for that, and we did it. We have the penthouse here where I assume the boss works, the main floor here where all the employees are toiling away, and the welcoming lobby full of light and exits. And I do need to say, from a distance, it's giving the vibes I wanted it to give. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn a little bit. Like, is it cool or is it an eyesore? Are all modern office buildings an eyesore like that, or do people like them? I don't know. That's what I wanted though. I wanted a modern looking industrial office building. I don't want more of them. So don't be afraid. I'm not going to put these everywhere. I just wanted at least one. And I think it's serving its purpose. I'd say it's kind of the perfect place to house Pokemon that make us feel absolutely miserable. And yes, that is the goal at the end of the day. It's to make all of these buildings house different Pokemon and do so in a way that kind of like makes sense thematically, but also gets our environment level up. So now that we have this building, what's next? Well, I actually do want to see if I can get away with a couple of offices in there, and that'll give me like a couple closed-in spaces for housing different Pokemon, and it should make the dimensions of the larger room small enough to also be considered a house for Pokemon. For the walls, I'm going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to use the rough wall because it takes concrete, and it just kind of looks like, you know, the interior of like a regular home, like a regular drywall. But that puke yellow it's currently in will not do, so we need to find Smeargle and paint it. Now, white feels like the obvious choice, but I'm, of course, out of white paint. Turns out I'm just gonna have to use something else because I'm out of the paint that I need to make it white. It doesn't matter because most of the offices are just gonna be made of glass anyway. Who are we kidding? Let's go ahead and just get some more concrete, and we're gonna make like, I don't know, corners and stuff. Maybe I get some more iron plating. We honestly don't need to overthink this. So I'm just going to start by putting a wall around the elevator, just on this side. And then we can do the same thing right here. And we'll have effectively created 2 offices, just like this. And I think what I'm gonna do for the entrance to these offices, I'm gonna put tiles just across like this. Oh, and see, we've run out. That stinks. This is where the concrete comes in, though, because I think I would have it, like, stop right here. And it almost doesn't matter if the concrete is in front of the window, because from the outside, it's not going to look any different. That's what's kind of nice about this design. And from the inside, you know, the wall will be closed off. But for what I'm thinking for these offices, there'll be a door here and a door here. And then I'll probably put 2 more blocks where I'm standing, so to frame the door, and then just a window, a floor-to-ceiling window right here, so the manager can look out and make sure people are still working. The shop is allowing me to buy 1 set of black paint, but maybe that's enough to kind of finish this one tiny little project I'm trying to do. I have Pupitar and Amora, like, I think Amora, right? Working on some extra paint. But I think those berries will yield black dye. I need both white and black. I don't really care at this point. I'm just trying to, like, get dyes going constantly. But yeah, let's see what we can paint with 10. I think oh yeah, I can do all 30. Excellent. All right, so yeah, it'll look just like this. And yeah, I think this is gonna be pretty stylish. Corporate chic, right? And that became a house as soon as I finished that. Let me throw a block up there. This one will become a house as soon as I finish this. There it is. And then out here, I have my choice. I can put a big conference table, or I could try to maybe cram another office here. I don't really want to do that with these big open windows like this. Or I could put some different bits of furniture that feel like they would go in an office, but they all happen to be arranged for Pokemon to spawn. Actually, you know what's interesting? Everywhere I walk, oh, here we go. The nearby habitats thing was just up on my HUD, and I was wondering if this was indeed a house. I do think the dimensions are a bit too weird for it to be one. Although, if I block off the elevator as if this is like its own mini lobby, right? We can even slap a couple like vending machines or seats out here or something, maybe a break area. And then I seal this off. I bet this does become a 3rd Pokemon home. If I pull this off, we can house a ton of Pokemon up here. All I'd really have to do is seal this off like that, and then just make a door right here. We'll do a double door. And I think this whole area will sparkle, and it'll become a Pokemon home, and I can fit 4 Pokemon in it, plus whatever habitats I want too. Those could also house Pokemon. Lucky for me, I started the day by smelting some glass, and I will have enough to make the doors I want now, because I want to make more glass doors, and as you can imagine, I did run out of glass today. We're gonna make 2 stylish doors, and we are gonna put them like this, and there we go. A 3rd Pokemon habitat in this one area. Okay, now we're cooking. Now that I've designed it like this, let's make a quick change, and we're actually gonna move our doors to just be kind of like side by side now. So we're gonna do that with them, and we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna put a frame around it, and then we're gonna put glass beside it, and boom. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. Perfect. We have our middle manager office, we have our executive office, and then we have the C-suite upstairs. And all of this space for desks or a conference table or whatever we want. As of right now, though, the building is a shell. And my personal building isn't much better. And of course, the museum is quite an empty shell as well, with nothing going on outside, no curb appeal whatsoever. Tomorrow, I think we do a decorating pass. That's right, we spent a lot of time building these buildings, but now we need to spend some time making them actually look a little bit better. So tomorrow is all about decorating this place, making it feel a little more like home. If that video is ready, it's on the screen now, so check it out, and I'll see you over there.